Hey, what's going on everybody? Paul Tech here, and welcome to the full review of the ZTE Blade X Max. So let's kick this off with design and build. To the right hand side of the device, you got your volume rockers. Right below that, you got your power button, which is textured, and I think they're positioned pretty nice, had no trouble reaching them. To the bottom there, you got USB Type-C charging port. That does provide Quick Charge 2.0, so you are going to get some good charging times on this device. And to the left hand side, you are getting access to your SIM card tray and micro SD card tray for expandable storage. And up on top is a 3.5mm headphone jack and a noise cancellation mic as well. Moving to the back side of this device, you're looking at a 13 megapixel rear facing camera, flash right beneath that. This device also has a fingerprint sensor for some added security, Cricket branding there, a 3400 non-removable battery, ZTE branding to the bottom, and then a back-firing speaker, which I'll talk more about in the review. Now this is an all-plastic design, and you got this glossy blue finish to the back, which does pick up some fingerprints and oils off your skin, but overall it's a pretty nice build. To the front, you are getting some ZTE branding there. 5 megapixel front-facing camera, does record an HD video, and a 6-inch full HD display. Now this does have Dragontail glass for some added protection, and you also get an LED notification light, which is your home button to the bottom there, which does pulsate, which is pretty neat. Now let's go ahead and talk about that fingerprint sensor to the back. It is actually very good, very accurate. It's as good as my LG G5's fingerprint sensor, and that's actually pretty impressive considering this is a budget device. So I've been using this device for 2 weeks now, and I took it on a road trip with me. I traveled over 430 miles. GPS was great. If you are in the area of Northern California and you travel all the way down to Oakland, San Francisco, Santa Cruz, coverage is going to be great in those areas. Phone calls were coming in excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to the messaging application here. And again, text messages were coming in perfectly fine. I was sending them out, and this is a pretty interesting keyboard here. You get different options. You can actually adjust the size of the keyboard here. I'll go ahead and show you. And it gives you some pretty good one-handed operation, which I really like. And going back into the settings menu there, you can see the other options you have. Another neat one is themes. So you can actually choose through a variety of different themes here. As you can see, I'll go ahead and show you a couple of the options you have there. So a pretty interesting keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and show you the emojis that are on this keyboard here, just in case some of you didn't watch my unboxing video. They are all, pretty standard looking, and you even get some emoji art on the bottom there option. So, very interesting keyboard. Now, what's powering this device? What's under the hood? It is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 435. It's clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. So this is an octa-core processor as well as the Adreno 505. Now, when it comes to sensors on this device, I know a big one that a lot of us like to have is the gyroscope, the gyro sensor, and yes, this device does have that among a whole bunch of other sensors. So watching 360 videos, VR is actually a pretty good experience on the ZTE Blade X Max. So let's go ahead and jump into the app drawer here, and you are getting a pretty much near stock Android experience. I mean, there is some pre-installed bloatware from Cricket Wireless, as well as some games, but for the most part, you can uninstall most of those applications, but it is very smooth performing, pretty snappy for the most part. One that I want to share with you that you have here is Dolby Audio, so that's actually a really good one. Plug in your headphones, and you can actually adjust the sound, customize it. It's pretty neat. Now, this is a pretty large device. I mean, most people are going to have to use 2 hands to operate this. It just depends on the size of your hands. I mean, I can reach the status bar there. I can get access to my quick toggles. So, just keep in mind, one-handed usability might be difficult for some. Now, let's go ahead and jump into settings here. One thing I want to mention that there's no NFC on this device, so not a big deal for some, but I know some people do like NFC. And let's go ahead and move on to storage here. Now, this device has 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is excellent. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you get a slot for your micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes. And the great thing about this is you can actually format your SD card to be used as internal storage. So this does have the adaptable storage that a lot of us want. So you can transfer your apps, move them to the SD card. So that is a great feature that you have on the ZTE Blade X Max that a lot of devices don't offer. Another feature you have here is called Me Pop or My Pop. It's actually pretty neat. You have this floating toolbar that you can actually customize and you can assign certain actions to it, and you can move it around your home screen there. So it's pretty neat for like assigning it for screenshots or whatever you want to. All right, so let's go ahead and check out this feature here, which I personally like. Navigation key, you can actually move it to whichever side you want, the recent apps in the back button. And you also get smart lock on this device. So as you can see there, you got those features for on-body detection, trusted places, trusted device, trusted voice. So I actually like this smart lock feature. Now let's go ahead and talk about that fingerprint sensor, because not only is it a great security feature, it does have some extra bonuses to go along with it. For instance, you can quick open apps, you can take a photo, and you can answer a call all with the fingerprint sensor. So all you got to do is basically assign to whichever fingerprint, whatever app that you want it to quick launch. So I already got it all assigned. I'll go ahead and show you. So with the screen off, all I got to do is touch on the fingerprint sensor and it goes directly into the Play Store. Now I set up my other fingerprint sensor to go straight into YouTube. So here we go. And for the lock screen, it just goes straight into YouTube. Very neat feature. So whatever application you decide to quick launch with your finger, it'll just go straight directly into that app. Pretty cool. All right, so this device is rocking Android 7.1.1. I mean, that is pretty amazing on this budget device. Not even my LG G5, my LG V20 is rocking Nougat 7.1.1. Moving on from there, let's go ahead and jump into YouTube, because I know a lot of us like to use our smartphones to watch YouTube videos, and you are going to get a pretty good media consumption experience here, especially with the large 6-inch Full HD display, so you're getting some great screen real estate. Now let's talk about that backfiring speaker there. Not the best placement for a speaker on any smartphone on the back, but it does provide some nice volume. Now you are going to get some good viewing angles on the ZTE Blade X Max. The highest resolution you're going to be able to watch your YouTube videos is going to be 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is pretty nice. But there is a strange thing that I noticed that would happen when I'm watching YouTube videos. Every so often the display will just go black. It'll go black. I still get audio coming from the device, but I would have to power off the phone, power it back on to get the YouTube video to play. So I'm not too sure what's going on there with this screen blacking. And again, it didn't happen on every single video, just every so often that would occur. So let me know if you experience something like that as well. All right, so if you're interested in tracking your health and fitness, you're gonna like the ZTE Blade X Max, because you got this app that's pre-installed where you can actually track like your water intake, you can track calories burned, and another neat thing with this is it does have the pedometer, so you can track your steps, but you can also monitor your heart rate. So you have a heart rate sensor. All you got to do is place your finger to the back of the 13 megapixel camera there, and it'll actually start reading your heart rate. So this can actually be very useful, and you might like to track your heart rate maybe before a workout, after a workout. You might suffer from tachycardia where you need to monitor your heart rate. This can be a very useful tool. Moving on to Geekbench 4, as you can see there, Adreno 505, pixels per inch 367, and Geekbench 4 scores this. Single core score 677, multi-core score 1900. Now those numbers don't mean everything, and I know those aren't the highest, but when it comes to gameplay, I personally didn't have any issues running pretty much any game off the Google Play Store in the past 2 weeks. Now this is one of my favorite games. My kids like playing this game. That's why I'm just sharing this one with you. But again, playing this, it ran very good. No hiccups, no stutters or anything like that. Now I even downloaded Asphalt 8 because I usually use this game as a demo when I'm reviewing devices, because a lot of these budget devices have a hard time running this game. This is where you'll see a lot of drops in frames, but not the case with the ZTE Blade X Max. It ran Asphalt 8 perfectly fine, no overheating, no stutters, no hiccups. So I think you'll have a good gaming experience with the ZTE Blade X Max. Now let's move on to outdoor visibility. How does this device do in direct sunlight? How's the visibility? I think it does perfectly fine. I was able to see the display outdoors. I mean, it's just not a super bright display, but I was able to get decent visibility outdoors in direct sunlight, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Now, another feature I used quite a bit in the past 2 weeks was when you double press on the power button, it actually quick launches your camera. So since we're in the camera application, let's talk a little bit about the 13 megapixel rear camera and the 5 megapixel front facing camera. So I did shoot quite a bit of photos and videos in the past 2 weeks using this device. Mainly, on the rear camera, not too much on the front-facing camera. I'm not too much into selfies, but you do get some good manual controls on this device where you can control the white balance, the ISO, and the shutter speed. So you can really adjust those and take some pretty decent photos as well. And I would say when you're shooting outdoors like I am right now, in good light, it's going to produce some nice photos. When you go into low light, just like most smartphones, it does get grainy, and that tends to happen with the ZTE Blade X Max. Recording videos, full HD, you got time-lapse mode on this, and you also have different filters to choose from. So I did take some sample photos, which I'm going to put up, and you guys let me know what you think of the camera quality. So moving on, let's talk about battery life. In the past 2 weeks, I've had excellent battery life on this device. I've been able to get through an entire day, and of course I would have to plug in and charge up at night, but I was getting around 6 hours of screen on time. And you know, your battery life might be different depending on how you use your device and power saving features, but excellent battery life in my opinion. So another very useful feature is this right here in the past 2 weeks. I use this pretty much every single day, especially when I was on vacation. It's the multi-window, the dual window mode. I honestly wish my ZTE Z Max Pro has this feature because it just becomes very handy when you can have 2 applications running and open at the same time, as you can see there. So I got YouTube open, and then I got the Google Play Store open as well. So this right here is excellent, and it works very good, very smooth. So if you decide to pick up this device, definitely check out this multi-window mode, and let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Alright, well, to wrap up this full review, I gotta say, the ZTE Blade X Max is a great smartphone. It can basically handle everything you throw at it, your day-to-day task. It does good. It's a good, solid performing device, and I would definitely recommend it. Like, the only thing I said is just that one little issue with YouTube where the screen does black out, but again, it doesn't happen in all the videos. But that was my review of the ZTE Blade X Max. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button, and please subscribe for more future videos. This is Paul Tech, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye.